podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Buonasera, dear listeners. I was trying to find good evening in Serbo-Croatian on my Google Translate, but no dice. It doesn't have that language on it. So I went with Italian. Welcome to the Den, dear listeners. Welcome for the visit of third place Coventry City to Millwall, sitting 11th as we go into tonight's match. One or two missing from Saturday's game in the starting lineup, which I think is a 4-2-3-1, but what do I know? I know little of such matters. In goal, Stephen Bender. Backline, Wes Harding, Tristan Kramer, Jake Cooper, Joe Bryan. I think Mazu Saku and Billy Mitch in the two in midfield. Then the three, Kundal, Negley and Imaku up front. Surprisingly so, maybe. Ivanovic starts, having of course signed his new contract, so maybe he's going to be enthused more than maybe we've seen so far this season. The Achtung Stasi reports from Josh Coburn in the car park, he's got a tight calf, which has a kind of a cow kind of quality to me. Bovine quality, a tight calf. So no Massimo Luongo either. Your subs tonight, Crocombe, Sturge, Taylor, Ballo, Aziz back on the bench, Macaulay Langstaff, Ryan Leonard dropped to the bench, Ray Spangura Williams, who cannot get a start for love nor money, and Will Smallbone, I think his name is Will, isn't it? Who looked lively at moments on Saturday down there at Swansea. Very strange match, some good moments and then some very lethargic, going nowhere kind of moments. So anyway, we're up against Coventry, who've started really well under the management, of course, of Frank Lampard, and one Joe Edwards as his Robin to his Batman. Coventry in their familiar sky blue, all sky blue, Lions of course in dark blue and white. Scant crowd in their midweek football, listeners. When did the romance of night games leave me? I don't know, maybe as I've got older. Dragging yourself out midweek just doesn't seem as attractive a prospect as it did when you're a youngster. But there we are here. The Den is illuminated beautifully. The pitch is emerald green beneath the Wednesday night lights of South Bermondsey. Looks like the Venerable Bede will be pleased. It looks like Millwall will be attacking the away end in the first half, as per his writings in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. So Coventry to kick us off, dear listeners. Away we go. Of course I wasn't tempted to watch it on the telly. Of course I wasn't. What do you take me for? What kind of podcast would this be if I was tempted so easily? Lorry trundling into the rubbish incinerator over the back to set the atmosphere. Yeah, so Will Mihailo now, would he not have his head together, dear listeners, having signed this contract extension? It was interesting. I was talking on the Chat with Chaps, the excellent Chat with Chaps podcast last night with Gordon Hill, one of my heroes from my youth, and the conditions for footballers back then. Varsity definitely said he was grateful to get 20 quid a week when he signed on. So a very, very different world to the prima donnas that we watch today. But we do so hope that now Mihailo has got his head together and will perhaps perform some form of striking service for us, now that he's being adequately paid for his services. With pressing the Coventry goalkeeper there, I did see a piece on the News at Den Plus website. Do subscribe to the News at Den Plus, dear listeners. Anyone might think I'm on some kind of bonus. I'm not. I'm just like to see good quality Millwall journalism, and there's not much of it left now. But there's an article by Will Scott, my guest on Sunday, how Millwall amongst the higher rated statistically or pressing teams in the division, if that counts for anything. The only thing that matters, of course, is the result, but apparently we are up in the table of such matters. There's a ball through. Negley trying to feed Ivanovic. It was just slightly overcooked, dear listeners. A bit like my pasta yesterday. A mushy ball forwards. But anyway, nice idea. Like my pasta. Nice idea, but mushy. I was trying to do the... there's a Football League survey, listeners. I don't know if you had the email from the club. And I thought, well, all right, you go into a draw for 2 tickets for one of the Wembley games. I thought, oh, well, you know, you're not going to win it, but let's have a go. So I started doing the survey. In comes this free kick before I carry on. Let's head it up and away. Yes, I'll start doing this supporter survey from the Football League, the EFL. And it's all the usual, how do you get to the ground? Do you use public transport? Blah, 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 blah. Nothing, particularly untoward. And then we got to a page, have you ever heard all the range of things that offend these days? Misogyny, homophobia, religious sectarianism, foul language, you name it, everything you can think of. And I got to this page. It would take me about 10 minutes to get into this page. It's quite a big survey. I was getting bored of it. And I looked at it and I thought, well, all of those things are what makes going to Millwall what it is. I can't answer these questions. I know what they're driving at. And that's kind of the experience of 50 odd years. So anyway, I stopped then. I thought, I'm out of this survey, so I didn't send it. And my 2 tickets will go to some other deserving Carlisle fan somewhere, or I don't know, Fleetwood Town person or something. I did laugh. Formed as Singer FC Coventry, way back in Victorian times. Singer FC, that's a old motor, British motor, when we had a car making industry. I think they made sewing machines as well, Singer. Anyway, they turned themselves into Coventry in the pre-First World War. A ball over the top, trying to find Ivanovic, Negley following up there. But it will be Coventry to bring away. Brian clips the Coventry winger. One for the team now, I think. It's number 7. I think he's going to get a yellow for that. Lovely skill Cundall there. That's a line, ball down the line for Marco. He's got some space on the left side. Ball across the face of the goal. It's going to come to Wes Harding back into the middle. I thought he might have had a go. Crossed it back in, but no one there, unfortunately. It's, Sky Blue brings away. That was a nice break. That was a lovely ball down the line for, I think it was Joe Bryan to find Marco in space. And his cross wasn't bad, dear listeners, but maybe Wes should have had a go. We've been reminiscent of the goal he scored at Crystal Palace if he'd have got that on target. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Cover, this is the 7. He looks like a tricky customer. This 7 on the right side. Ball back into the box. Shot on target. Oh, put wide. Wow. Big moment there. Was that a save? It was put wide. There was a moment where the ball came back from the right side from the winger and it fell to another in the middle. I can't tell you which player, but he had a moment to shoot there and put it wide right. Wow, we dodged a bullet, dear listeners. Big moment there. That's 18 minutes in. The football god smiling upon us again. So glad we don't have a soppy song like the Eton Boating song. I know we have a range of songs that might draw the attention of the EFL, but better that than that soppy song. Nice passing, Millwall. This is Sacco in the middle. Ball out wide. This is Wes Harding playing almost as a right side winger. There's into Ivanovic. Can he take? He finds Marco on the left side. Shot blocked, dear listeners. Nice move back, Millwall. Little reply, riposte. 20 minutes in, dear listeners. It's been an open game. Both sides have had moments. Probably the best chance falling Coventry's way just a few seconds ago. That shot, the initial one was blocked, and then the second one was put wide, which was a stroke of luck from the lines. But it also looked right going forwards. A couple of moments, and that again, the run down the left by Imaku and the cross in from the right side to Wes. Good stuff so far. Ball down the line. Imaku now. Can he take his man on? Does take his man on. That's got to be a corner. Does well there. Idemo Imaku, dear listeners. He's playing well tonight. Middle left side corner, first one of the game. 22 minutes, halfway through the first half. It will be Idemo to take. And below us, high and bird shit corner, which actually is remarkably bird shit free these days. I've got to find another name for it. Spider's Web corner. It's like the haunted house of horror, the old London dungeons. Do you ever go in that underneath London Bridge? In it comes from Idemo, curling cross, the goalkeeper collects. Good pace there by Derek Mazusaku. Del Boy. to pick up that throw out from the goalkeeper. Mill back in possession. Here's Wes. He's looking effective on the right side, dear listeners. Little ball inside. Camille Negley. He checks. Ball into the middle. Just over the head of Luke Cundall. Ryan's knocking at the door. Knocking at heaven's door. Bob Dylan would have sung Guns N' Roses. Which do you prefer, listeners, the Guns N' Roses version or the Dylan version? Both very different. I think both are very, very valid. I love them both. Probably Guns N' Roses just, but I do like the Dylan kind of gospel, mournful version as well. Why choose? It's a cool evening rather than cold, dear listeners. I brought a jacket, but that was a bit too much. But equally, you need a long sleeve top on just to get it right. You know that kind of weather, don't you? If you're listening somewhere like Tucson, Arizona, or in the Namibian desert or somewhere, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it's one of those Bermondsey cool nights. So it's not too cold, not too warm. Big shout out to anyone listening in the Namibian desert. Or Burkina Faso. We had a listener in Burkina Faso. I'm fascinated by the locations of people that listen to Achtung Millwall. I'm sure all the podcasts get it, but there's some unexpected places where people will download and listen to it. Oh, as dispossession, there's a chance for Coventry. Kramer dispossessed on the line. Putting that as the ball fired back across, that was an error there. I think that was on Kramer. An unusual and rare error, but 1-0 Coventry. 29 minutes. Ball fired back in from the right side. The man took it wide right, ran the goalkeeper, and there was a man waiting in the middle as we were desperately trying to get it clear. Kramer, I think it was Kramer caught in possession. I'll have to see that again, dear listeners. Sloppy, straight into touch. I think that's slightly deflated us for the moment, that goal. It was a sloppy goal to give away. And it's slightly taking the wind out of our sails. Oh, loose passing in midfield again, evades Mazusaku. Line's just looking a bit raggedy last few minutes, dear listeners. We had a good spell, but that goal seems to have really knocked our confidence. What are we on, 33 minutes? Inside ball to Cundall. He's got Wes Harding on his right. Can he find him? He can. Over on the right flank. This is Wes. Decent looking ball into the middle. It's headed up and away by a sky blue shirt. This is Billy. Finds Negley as a toe poked wide. I thought Billy was going to have a go there, which I thought was unwise. He gave it to Negley, who toe poked it wide, really. With no power on it, though. Didn't look threatening at all. But it's better. 35 minutes. This is Billy. He's been playing well tonight, but plays a nice right crossfield ball into the path of Wes. And straight offside. That's kind of summing up the Millwall half so far. With our efforts have all come to naught, and I've gone offside a lot. What are we on? 40 minutes. Murmur of discontent around the den at the moment, listeners. You can sense it. It's my sixth sense, my Millwall sixth sense. I mentioned on Saturday that we had a slight drifty quality about our play down there at Swansea, and I'm just feeling that at the moment as the half closes out, listeners. There's a little bit of nothing kind of going on. This is the 7 though. He's looked dangerous. This is Coventry on the attack before I say. There's half time. Boos are a bit strong, but it wasn't. There were moments where we looked all right, but there's nothing in front of the goal so far, the listeners. So there we are. Coventry took their chance. It's 0-0, Coventry 1 at the half time. Millwall drift syndrome, dear listeners. That was the story of that first half. Once the goal went in, we seemed to fall to pieces. Went to from actually not playing too badly to a fairly poor display by the end of the half. We need to turn this around fast. No substitutions at half time. Both teams are lined up ready to kick off. Mill kick us off, away we go. So pretty poor finish to a half that promised a bit more than what it actually delivered. We certainly lacked imagination as the half went along. Passes going astray, offside calls, everything you can think of that makes for Millwall drift syndrome. That's my new psychological term of what we saw in the first half. Negley, it finds its way via Cundall to Marku on the left side, listeners. Chance for Mill to break. He's gone past his man into the box. What can he do? Fired in at pace. Across the face of the goal. That's much, much better, dear listeners. Good ball in from the left side. Marco did well to get down there, but no one in the middle to supply the killer touch. The denouement, the coup de grace. Just looking on our WhatsApp group at half-time, Matt Richards made the point that we're missing Coburn up front. I think we are. He's a much, derided player at times, Josh Coburn, but the ball does stick with him when it goes forward. We're not really, certainly in the first half's evidence, hasn't stuck. So be careful who you deride, boo boys. You miss him when he's not there. Josh Coburn. Beerley with a little dink. This is Jake Cooper. Gets clipped, surely. No, this is little 1-2. This is Cundall. This is Mill. Little intricate passage of play. It fell through to the goalkeeper. I've lost it in the intricacy of that pattern. It was really good play down the left side, but it just ran through to the goalkeeper in the end. That was a nice moment. A little bit of brightness to start the second half off with, listeners. We're on 51 minutes. Not a huge amount of goalmouth action for the Lions fans to get behind tonight, listeners. There's been lots of midfield play, scurrying around both sides. Not an awful lot of precision. It's the word I think I'm searching for. Or excitement, maybe. This is Imanku on the left side. He takes his man on. That's beautiful to see. There's a shot on target. Nice work, Idemo Imanku. Shot was on target. Goalkeeper took it fairly central, down low. But a beautiful little jinky move on the left side there. Great to see. Push there in front of Kramer, but the 11's got it on the left side of the Mill penalty. That's into the box. Oh, he dodged the bullet there. That was the 7 at the near post. I think touched around by Bender. Going to be a left-sided corner. Ball in from the left side. The 7 was nipping in there, and Bender did well to get down low to that. That was a chance for Coventry, dear listeners. 64 minutes. Left-sided corner. Comes bouncing around, headed away to the 3. Great tackle at the feet of the 23. Would he have been offside? I don't know. No offside flag shown. Bender bravely down at the feet of the 23 there as it rolled through the melee. Millwall giving the ball away again. Gone back to our drift syndrome. Brain freeze, or what do you call it? Brain fog. This is Coventry on the attack. Nice passing there, in fairness. The ball in from the right side. Nice goal, 2-0. I think that's game, set and match, dear listeners. Nice ball in from the right side. Headed in with False from the 11. 2-0. Hard to see us making a comeback from this, but hope springs eternal. People filing for the exits, dear listeners. Very little evidence. We're halfway through the second half now. 22 minutes of the second half gone. That's 67 minutes. Lions are now behind by 2-0. Maybe some people have had enough. It's not been a great showing, in all honesty. That crossing from Imaku earlier on in this half is about the only real, spark that I've seen from the Millwall side. It's been very drifty, as I keep saying. Ball across face. This is falling to Femi Aziz on the right side. Ball in. That's curled effort wide, unfortunately. Coventry defence were back on him fast. There was a moment where he was in space on the right side there, but they were back very, very quickly, and his effort was a speculative one in the end rather than any real purpose to it. In comes a deeper cross from Imaku. That's too deep for everybody, I think. It's headed back by Kramer to Billy Mitchell. Ball into the middle. Chance for Ivanovic, who puts it high over the bar from quite a tight angle, in fairness to him. Very toothless, I think, the Lions tonight, dear listeners. That's the way I would put it. We've barely created many chances, and when we have created a chance, there's been no one looking dangerous in the box. I'm thinking that really nice looking cross from the left side earlier on in the half from Imaku, no one in the middle. Ivanovic nowhere in sight, and I don't know if that was a chance, half chance there, but anyway, it was high over the bar, certainly not on target. It's been the story of our season in many respects. The lack of goal scoring threat, listeners, continues to be devilish. I mean, if this stays the same, which what are we on now, 12 minutes to go, 13 maybe, if this stays the same, it's going to be yet another home game where we haven't scored a goal. Nor, in truth, in this game have we looked likely to score a goal. I mean, that's my take on it. We've put plenty of effort in, a lot of midfield passing and backs and forwards. Coventry do that a bit better than us, and crucially have taken the few chances that have come their way. They haven't had many, but they've taken them. And we haven't really had a sniff. You can maybe a couple of moments that I've touched on a few times in this show, but really no goalmouth action worth the name from the Millwall side. So that's going to be another home game where we failed to trouble the scorers. Away from home, we're a rugged side. You know, we got a bit lucky, I think, at Swansea, but we deserved our point down there. I can't take that away from us. Tonight, we've tried to match the triangles with Coventry, but haven't really created anything worth the name. So there you can hear it. Dissatisfaction around the den. People now filing for home, and I don't blame them. I stick it out for you, dear listeners. I'm like a martyr on a Millwall cross here for you. I will stick it out to the very end, but I can fully understand people shooting off. And there's an old chap there going downstairs. Maybe a chance for Coventry to stick a little cherry on their cake. In it comes. It's taken away from Bender, headed onto the post and in. 3-0. Bender beaten to the punch, headed back onto the top of the bar. It comes down in front of this Coventry striker who nods in with ease. 3-0. Stadium is clearing like the proverbial fire drill, dear listeners. Started out a bright game. I mean, there were moments in the first half where we didn't play some bad stuff. The goal seemed to knock the stuffing out of us to a disproportionate level. Since then, we've looked adrift. Not really sure what to say or what the cause of it is. We've created very little in the way of goalmouth action. As I've just said, Coventry have taken their chances, and yes, they have. Millwall haven't really created any chances to miss. So, you know, there's your problem, Alex Neil, if you're watching or listening. Coventry deservedly 3-0 up. I can't put it any other way. Smallbone through to Langstaff. I don't even know why I'm bothering commenting on this game. Ball in from Langstaff. Falls to Negley. That's our luck. He's fired that in on the volley. Nice volley. It's kind of rebounded off the post onto the goalkeeper and away. No luck there. That's probably our best moment. Only trouble being that we're 3-0 down. But anyway, hit that well. Camille Negley. This is Kramer. Ball into the middle. Another miracle save. I think that was touched in. I think it was Ivanovic and the goalkeepers performed a small miracle to collect that on the line. Again, unlucky, nice move. Ball in from the right side. I think it was Kramer in and caught Ivanovic, but the goalkeeper was down on it. Coventry on the attack now, listeners. Ball down the left side. There's 4-0. 4-0. The 20. Ball down the right, back from the right side into the centre. The 20 caught it, put it away. 4-0. 87 minutes. What do we make of this performance, listeners? I'm just trying to think of how I can summarise what has been a diabolical night for Millwall. We didn't play some bad stuff in the first half up until the goal. After that, we've been totally adrift. We lack someone on the field that's going to grab the game by the bollocks and make something happen. We've got some pretty players out there. We don't have any. We lack a Herlock or somebody of that kind. I know that's an easy cliche to come out with, but we lack someone with some leadership out there, in my opinion. We've got some nice players, some good, skillful players, but today we've looked totally adrift. 4-0 doesn't do a disservice to any, to Coventry at all. They totally deserve it. They've taken chances. We haven't barely created chances. A couple late when we're 3-0 down. Apart from that, we've not created a chance. There's your problem, Alex Neil. If we don't create chances, we're at the den. We've got no one with fire in the belly, it strikes me out there, dear listeners. I know it's emotive to speak in the final closing minutes of a game like this, but that's what strikes me as I'm speaking to now, listeners. No one with any fire in their belly out there. A lot of triangles going backwards. A team that's looked totally second best for the bulk of the game. Once the first goal went in, we looked second best. That's not acceptable at the den. Not acceptable. Sort it out, Alex Neil. Ball in from the left side. Finally, we're creating some chances. Some crosses are coming in, looking dangerous. Gone over the crossbar. But finally, we're starting to play some direct stuff into the penalty area. What a laugh. Final whistle, Millwall 0, Coventry City 4. I think I've run out of things to say about that diabolical performance, dear listeners, so stay tuned.
Achtung, Millwall.
Hello?
Morning, Nick. Sorry, mate. I haven't done one of these for a long while. Apart from a few weeks back, but that was via Twitter. But at least I've got a little bit more time on my hands via WhatsApp. It's hard when you watch your football team. You try and I mean, me personally, you try and find the positives out of any negatives. Last night, mate, there was none. There was no positives whatsoever in that performance. Whatsoever. It's, for me, this is a massive month for Alex Neil and for the club. We got 5 games, 4 of which are at home, and the home record has been great, and the away game is already sold out at QPR. So you're going to have Millwall fans following the team throughout the whole month. You need to make sure that you get positive outcomes from this. Otherwise, it's going to get toxic. This is the worst month that a football manager in the history of Millwall has actually faced. I think it's roughly about now that we lost Harris, he went. I think we lost Rowett around this time. I don't think Joe Edwards lasted that much longer, but he lasted until after Christmas. But especially Harris and Rowett, they left around about this time, and it's sort of like it's the expectation of us fans and the board, and whether the manager is meeting at time. Now, I'm not in that camp of Alex Neil has to go yet. I do think, though, he needs to have a look at his backroom staff. Why are we leaking so many goals? Well, last year, and don't get me wrong, he was around, and previous years we had a manager or assistant manager or a coach even that focused on the back 4 in Adam Barrett. We don't have one of them this year. Why are we not scoring enough goals? Well, you know what? I've been banging on about how I think we should have coaches that focus on specific areas of the pitch. We've got one in a goalkeeping coach, which I'll get to very short in a minute. But that also works on the pitch as well. Alex Neil has to look at everything, the whole massive picture. But he needs people around him that can focus on specific areas. And at the moment, we need someone to focus on that defence, and definitely someone to focus on attacking threat. Work with Alex Neil. That's the key. If it ain't going to happen, then the frustrations are going to definitely be growing, and there's only one outcome of that, which is not the nicest way of having it. So that's my first point on the situation at the moment. I think today needs to be cards on table, clear the air, speak from the heart sort of situation at the club. We can't have another performance like that. We have got a better squad this year. We've got a stronger squad this year than we had in a long time, even ever. So you can imagine the expectation levels have increased from us fans and potentially even the board. So there needs to be some clear the air talks across all departments today. And I also mentioned about the goalkeeping scenario. I'm, for one, always try and support the goalkeepers, but by far I still don't understand why we're pursuing with Stephen Bender. For me, we have thrived on some goalkeepers in the past that have put a shift in and done well. He has not done well. I'm sorry. One great game so far this season, and that against Sheffield, and that's it. Mistake against Norwich, mistake against Wrexham, mistake again last night. Mistakes. His decision making is atrocious. He's up there with one of the top 5 worst goalkeepers I've seen don a Millwall shirt. And the fact that he hasn't played any first team football over the last few years and then thrown in to become first teamer. Why? all because he's worked with the goalkeeping coach. That's bullshit. So if that's the case, then the goalkeeping coach needs to take accountability on that one. You know, we signed a goalkeeper in Crocombe who played regularly, week in, week out. Yes, he played at a lower level, but Christ's sake, at least he's got match day experience. Decision making as a goalkeeper is probably the most fundamental, crucial part of the job. You make the wrong decision, you are screwed. Seeing it time and time again. And you know what? I can't fathom it. It's disappointing. But definitely we need to start press the reset button. Players need to start playing for the shirt. Manager and the coaching team needs to clear the air and get the players playing in the right position. This inverted wingers nonsense, play Negley in the 10, play the players where we see them, we scouted them, we signed them, play them in their positions, because that's the only way we're going to be progressing. But I'm forgetting about last night. Coventry are a good team and we accept that. You know what? Fair play. They probably will win the league or be up there. But we didn't have no bite, and that was disappointing me. Cheers, bud.
Big thank you there to Matt Webb. I thought really interesting voice note. I thought I would just lead off with it. We've had a lot of content for you listeners. I'm just going to run the rest back to back, but I just wanted to come in on Matt's comments there because I think he makes some really interesting points. I'm too am not, I suppose any of us are convinced about Stephen Bender. Every time I've seen Max Crocombe, in the League Cup games, he's looked effective and he looks strong. Obviously, we all await the return of Lucas Jensen, and that may or may not be this side of Christmas. I think there's a matter of some urgency. We need to address the goalkeeping position. Which goal was it last night? He came out and flapped at it. Was it a second goal? Or was it the one that ran along the top of the crossbar? Losing track. I've had a look at the edited highlights today, listeners, and it becomes a blur after a point. I mean, everything that Matt has just said there, for me, I would agree with. The thing that strikes me, I suppose, at this stage of the season, that Alex Neil still doesn't have a settled team. He hasn't settled on a formation. We have no bite going forwards. I was deeply unimpressed with Ivanovic last night. Apparently, he's signed a new long-term contract. Great stuff for him. I hope he enjoys his money, but I didn't see any of the value that we're looking to get from him. He needs to improve fast. If he's dreaming of going to Serie A, well, they don't. He can take it from me. They don't stand fools out there, striking fools especially. You feed on scraps in Italian football, and he's got to do a lot better. He wasn't in the action. Contrast that with the Coventry forwards. Was it Hadji Wright who scored the goal? Forceful, powerful forwards. That's what we need, and that's what we didn't have last night. I think Matt is right. There needs to be one or two serious heart-to-heart, open, show each other's your hand of cards type conversations, because at the moment, at home especially, we look patsy weak, and that's not acceptable for a Millwall team. We've got another one coming up Saturday at home to West Bromwich Albion, and God help us if that one goes square on us. So pressure is on, but that's what top level sport is about. That's what you get paid the bucks for. That's what Alex Neil gets paid a decent wage to resolve, and that's what the players get paid good money to turn around. Pressure, yes, this is where you find out who your good players are and where you don't. Now then, listeners, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's contributed to this show. We're going to have a lot of voice notes. Going to run the remainder of the show as back-to-back voice notes. I'm speaking to Merv later on, so if you don't hear your contribution on this show, you will hear it in the second show, which will be later on tonight. Big thank you to everyone for contacting me. Against my better judgment, I'll be down there Saturday watching the West Brom game. Let's hope for a lot better. It can't get much worse, especially on that second half showing there was such paltry performance last night. There we are. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in. I'm going to say goodbye here, and the rest of the show will be back-to-back voice notes. So until I speak to Merv later tonight, from me, Nick Hart, it's thank you for listening. Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
Good morning, Nick. Alex from Block 38. It's been a while. Been listening to the podcast every episode and keep thinking I'll send you a message, and then I keep forgetting. Well, that was terrible. Bang on the form book, though. They're playing really good football, and we're not. End of. They didn't deserve the 4. That game could have easily finished 2-2. I don't know why we always have to go 1-0 down to start playing a little bit of football. 2 mistakes, really. Kramer's been solid for ages. I've not had a bad word to say about him. One lack of concentration last night. Bender done quite well to try and narrow the angle and pushed him out wide, but then the defending in the middle, no one tracking. Like the first and second goal were pretty much the same. You know, the first goal, he's taken him out. Bender's pushed the angle down, pushed him out wide, and he's crossed it in, and then he's a tap in with no one near him. And then same for the second. Billy Mitchell gives the ball away in the midfield, trying to break with these triangles that we've seemed to started doing, passing in the triangles. Ball goes into the middle, and the defenders, the attackers in the middle of two defenders, got about 4 or 5 foot around him, and then then we were chasing. I don't quite understand what they're doing every week. The coaching's got to be poor, I think, and they're all at an average level. And when they play together during the week training, it looks all right, I guess. I don't know. Just frustrated, really. It's just we don't take our chances. The same at Swansea. We should have finished. I don't want to start digging them all out, but because they don't really deserve it. But that was bang on the form book. They're playing good football. We're not. I could quite easily see us losing that 3-0, and it got worse. We just got nothing up top. Absolutely nothing. And it's just the way the ball goes. It's just the way the bodies are getting in the way. Like Langstaff got in the way of Ivanovic scoring a tap-in. I was really just frustrating. It's just frustrating. And then we can probably end the week. I don't know. Jed Wallace would probably ping a free kick in the top bins on Saturday just to end the week. But it's early days. The up and down bipolar of being a Millwall supporter, I suppose. If we went the other way, we haven't been playing good football, but if somehow we managed to win last night, I think we would have gone second. So it's still all to play for. Hopefully he can get into them and change it a little bit. But I don't think the players that we have are comfortable with the style of play that Alex Neil wants to do. I think someone needs to tell Kramer and Cooper that they can pass to someone else. They only seem to want to pass to each other, and then we have to have Billy Mitchell or Caspar or Sacco drop in deep to take the ball from them for it to come forward. So it is frustrating football. I don't understand what he's trying to do with it now. I don't understand why he keeps changing the team. Like, we don't have a settled side. I know we've had injuries, and hopefully, like, they're all coming back. They're all in training. Aziz looked all right last night when he came on. Hopefully he'll start the weekend. And we just need a settled like 15 and just pick up some momentum. And then we'll see where the season takes us. I hope everyone's all right. We'll go again, I suppose, on Saturday. Can I just put a quick shout out for the Millwall military veterans? We play football at the Lions Centre on a Thursday night. So if there's any military veterans currently serving or a veteran would be interested, come down to the Lions Centre at 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. We have coffee mornings every home game. So from 11:30 on Saturday, there's a coffee morning in the Lions Centre. The Royal British Legion will be there. Other charities will be there. So if there's any military veterans about, this is for away supporters as well. Not that the away supporters are probably listening to this podcast. But it was quite nice to see a couple of Wrexham boys, military vets, turn up when we played Wrexham the other month. If anyone wants to come in, everyone's more than welcome. Families, the lot. Come down and pop in on Saturday from 11:30 in the Lions Centre. Let's go again. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Mark Willoughby. I expect you're going to get quite a few voicemails this morning, but thought I'd just add my 2 penneth. I was there last night, right to the bitter end, me and about another dozen of us. I did see you up in the corner, so well done for sticking out as well. So home form, 4 games played, 1 goal scored. That is relegation form. People are not giving Alex Neil too much grief because we can see in between the shambles last night, we were trying to play good stuff and it was quite bright and lively and entertaining and pleasing on the eye before the first goal, and basically that was the turning point of the match. After that, we were never the same. We made efforts after we conceded, but as Alex Neil said, if you've got errors going on at the back and then you're not taking your chance at the other end, you're always going to struggle, and that's exactly what happened at the game. Coventry gave us a masterclass on how to take their chances, which we are failing to do, and now averaging less than a goal a game. The final delivery has been a problem all season. Players not been in the right place at the right time. But overall, taking chances. We just can't do it. And what's disturbing particularly about last night is, whilst we not taking chances is a continual theme, we have been solid at the back. Last night, 3 of those goals should have been prevented. First was a mistake. The second, an attacker was completely unmarked in the 6-yard box. And the third, Bender misses his punch. So we've got problems if we're going to keep playing like that. We're now under enormous pressure for the weekend, because it could be 4 defeats out of 5 at the Den. Something's got to change. We've got to start taking chances. However that happens, whatever Alex Neil does, that's what he and the coaching team need to install in them. I remember one of the early games in the season, I think it was the Newport game, Neil, after the game, he said, well, it wasn't a coincidence that we scored that goal, that Lenny, I think it was in the right place at the right time. That's what we coach. That's what we do. Well, you ain't doing it enough, mate. Get it better. Get these players to make better deliveries and be at the right place at the right time. Get them to do their jobs in the final third. Otherwise, this season of promise, with this great squad of players playing in the right way under a good Millwall manager, is going to achieve absolutely nothing. We're going to miss an opportunity, a golden opportunity to do something special. We can still pull it out, but we've got to start taking chances. All right, Nick, thanks for everything you do. Come on your lines.
Hello, Nick. It's Danny here from a pretty mild Calgary, actually. It's my first time calling in this season. Had to be this one, I guess. I'm going to take nothing away from Coventry. They're going to be out there. They're going to be in the playoffs, so they're going to get that automatic, I think. They're a good team. But, it's October now, and really, I think there's been 2 good performances, and that's Norwich in the second half, and the Palace game, where I think we should have won, to be honest. How can we go... And that Palace game was basically our second team. So I don't know how you can put a performance in like that and not carry it on. To be honest, I think we're just really missing Denor. I think that's obvious to see. Because the second half against Norwich, we were so good. I thought we looked such a good team. And I think we're struggling with that right-back position. I don't know why Kramer can't go back there. What I've seen of Taylor so far, it looks pretty impressive. So Kramer at right-back, I think he was a nuisance in that Norwich second half, really causing problems and getting really good balls in the box. And if he wasn't putting good balls in the box, he was in that position to do it at least. So, I'm not too sure where Alex Neil goes from this. I'm not Alex Neil out at all. I think he's a really good manager, and I think he's the right manager to lead this team. But it's not HMS piss for league as everyone thinks it will be, I think, or thought it would be. And yeah, just to agree with you and Murph that other show, Palace fans, they're the most fucking annoying. I can even get past West Ham and Charlton, but Palace do my head in. Anyway, cheers, Nick. Hopefully, the next time I call in, we'll be a bit better off and up the league a bit. Come on, your lines.
Hey Nick, Glenn here. So I'm coming back from a work trip and I'm watching the game on my phone while I'm on the train. And at half time, I got so bored, I got my work laptop out and started working. Watching Kundal being sort of thrown around like he's a child in a man's game. And Ivanovic, who can consider himself extremely lucky to have a new deal when he has done absolutely nothing this season. I'm like, just I can't beggar's belief why someone of his quality can think he can put in those performances and be worthy of a better contract. If he carries on like this, he's not going to be interesting to anyone. And why does it take half a game for Amaku to decide that he can start shooting at goal? I think our most attacking player in that first half was probably Harding, which is ridiculous. I think Kramer's got a lot of credit in the bank with me, so that mistake for the first goal, I'll let him off that, because we should have had a couple before then. And Negley, quite frankly, it's hard to explain. It's like eating candy floss. It tastes nice, but it has no nutritional value. And I just don't see, Negley, what he does looks good, but it doesn't really produce anything of merit or worth. I mean, he had a free kick the other day, but I think we all would say that the keeper should have really saved that. Really, really just bored. I got bored and I started working. It was more interesting. There you go. That says something. I'm going to turn off now because quite frankly, I just want to calm down after that. That was appalling. All right, come on, you lines.
Nick, Matt Richards here. Morning after. I thought I'd do it today, so I might have calmed down a bit. Still absolutely gutted and pissed off about last night. I guess my thoughts, I won't go through the whole game because it just depressed me. This needs to be sorted out. It needs to be sorted out quickly. Before the game, I was kind of with trepidation. You're thinking Coventry flying high, undefeated. I knew it was going to be a tough game. But to lose 4-0 is just, that result is difficult to take, really. When I saw the team, I kind of thought, loads of changes, but I do get it. Coburn and Luongo are out injured, then you have to bring new players in. I think the one thing that sticks out is the dilemma around Kramer and Leonard or Harding, really. It didn't work last night anyway, because Harding wasn't good. I hesitate to say he's poor, but he is, after all, a squad player. Tries his best, but he's not. He hasn't got the quality. And Kramer had the worst game he's had in the Millwall shirt. Fuck up for the first goal, but even after that, I thought he made. I think it's his mistake for the second goal. Really bad. So it's bring Taylor in against his old club on Saturday and stick Kramer right back. Anyway, I think the biggest issue is around just when we get near to the penalty box, we just don't know what to do. We're indecisive, or sometimes we're nervous, or we panic, and there's a poor shot or pass, or don't even shoot, or poor cross, and I think that's what's killing us. Definitely this season. I know we've let a lot of goals in at home, but I think that's the biggest issue for us to address, and it needs to be sorted out on the training pitch. Otherwise, we're going to struggle. The amount of goals we've scored this year is poor, just poor. And we've got a lot of attacking players. They all kind of seem to be similar types of players, but they're not creating enough and definitely not scoring enough. I thought for 60 minutes yesterday, I thought we actually were a slightly better team. I didn't think Coventry were that good. We just made them look good, didn't we, with our mistakes? I just can't. Anyway. And I think the last thing I'd just say, I don't know why Bender seems to be getting a lot of stick. Actually, if you think back to the goals, I think the third goal, you should have got that. The rest of them, I don't think you can blame Bender. It's like we're looking for, everyone, we need to have scapegoats, don't we? I think the only scapegoat or the person that needs to kind of look at, and I'm not blaming him because he's had lots of injuries and so you have to force a lot of changes, but it's down to Alex Neil and his coaching team to sort this out. We've got nearly all the players back now, apart from perhaps Casper and Doughty. Now's the time, work, decide what your best team is, decide what your best formation is, and give them the confidence to actually score some goals. Anyway, surely it's got to get better Saturday. Surely. Okay, cheers, Nick.
Evening, Nick. Rob Abbott here in Dublin. Just watched Millwall nil Coventry 4. Not really too sure what to say, but I've always said there's going to be lots of ups and downs this year, this season. This is a major down, especially if you think of our other 3 home league games so far. What it's produced 1 win and 2 losses before tonight with only 1 goal. We've then followed that with a 4-0 home loss. It's not acceptable. It's embarrassing. This league is strange. We've had 12 midweek games in this league and we've not had 1 home win. But that doesn't excuse our bad home form, because usually we rely on our home form to get us higher up the league, where at the moment, obviously without our away form, we'll be right at the bottom with Tanganga and Sheffield United. But look, we're 8 games in. It's going to be the next game, Saturday, before the international break. It's going to be really interesting. We got more bodies back, which is good. But now it's up to Alex Neil to get the right team on the pitch for the game. And what's his shape, tactics going to be? I think tonight Alex Neil got it wrong. He's not got it wrong that often with us, but he's got it wrong, I think, making that amount of changes. And even though Luongo looked dead on his feet on Saturday, surely he could have featured tonight. So I'll be intrigued going forward what he does. If I was him, number 1, I'd definitely be changing that goalkeeper. Crocombe deserves a chance this weekend. Number 2, I'd probably be getting Taylor in the team somewhere. And then I have no idea at the moment what we're going to do with our forward line, but I'd be starting Reece Bangor or Williams. Yeah, we need some goals. Where are they going to come from? I don't know, but we need to start scoring. The big Serb lost again. And then we had no luck there. The ball bounced around a few times at 3 or 4-0 down to even get a consolation goal. There was no luck. And anyhow, onwards and outwards. I keep it short. Embarrassing, dog shite. Hopefully that's the lowest we go to this year. And it's onwards and upwards. But yeah, stern words need having this evening or on the training pitch over the next 2 days to get us ready for Saturday. We need to win. We need to get some confidence at home here. And then we move forward.
Hello, Nick and all. Martin Colwell here, giving his thoughts on last night's defeat to Coventry. Yeah, it's not going well at home, is it? I understood resting Massimo Longo because of his age and because he's playing a lot. But we did miss him in front of those centre-halves because we are vulnerable there, especially with Jake Cooper and anyone who's got any pace. And Tristan Crammer struggled as well. Don't know as to if he's knocked to the head or just a bad night, really. But yeah, struggle. Created some chances, though, at home, didn't we? I think our XG was 1.33, which is quite high for us. Mix of luck and really just poor quality finishing. We don't seem to have anyone who's a quality finisher this season, and so we struggle in front of goal, full stop. And Coventry gave us the ball, which is not good for us really, because we kind of don't know what to do against that low block. But yeah, that's the thing of playing at home. But yeah, rubber the ding and go for us. In terms of, first of all, picking up on the defending, I would have changed it at half time. I thought that the 2 fullbacks were struggling, and I would have brought on Sturge and moved Crammer to right back and brought on Taylor. And I know I'm an advocate of keeping Crammer in the middle, but he wasn't particularly having a great game at centre-half, so I thought, well, let's get some width out of him at full-back. But Alex Neil's not the sort of manager who likes to make changes at half-time, really. So again, we could just continue to struggle really at the back, didn't we? Full stop. In the midfield, I thought Billy Mitchell was industrious, but lacks real quality on the ball, and will just score a goal. Full stop. So he works hard, but I think we probably need a bit more from players if we want to be, in the top echelons of the championship. Thought Mazusaku struggled, but probably where he's a newcomer and he's played a lot recently, just probably found it a struggle against Coventry, who are a bit much more dynamic than Millwall. Millwall a bit slower. Thought the attacks from Millwall one-dimensional, i.e. just trying to knock the ball around, then pass to a Macu, and hopefully he can beat someone and get a crossing, which he did on occasion, to be fair to him. Glad to see Femi Aziz back, who should add a bit more attacking intent when he's fit. But yeah, I thought Ivanovic was very poor. I thought Kundal was poor myself. But yeah, 1-0 down at half time. And then, as I say, I would have changed it and I would have brought on those two, Sturge and Taylor. And I would also took off Mazusaku and brought on Smallburn. But Alex, like I said, Alex was not really the manager to change things at half time. And we struggled to score goals. And Coventry don't, obviously, because they're knocking them in, and they had an extra 3.6, although they had easy chances and the rub of the green with balls rolling across crossbars and things like that. And they were quite clinical when they finished, whereas we looked like we were, in the headlights when the ball came to us in the shooting position. But yeah, the second goal killed it for me. That was the time to go home, really, because I struggled to see me all scoring one goal at home, full stop, let alone two. But I did, after that, watch the highlights of the rest of the game, so I kind of knew what happened. I think it just went from bad to worse, really. Bit of a shambles, really. No one knowing what positions they're in. Lots of changes again, partly through injury, partly through resting, but it's all a bit shambolic, really, at home. We can't play against that low block because, one, we haven't got the players in midfield who can play that cutting pass. I thought that was what Negley was for, but he doesn't seem to be doing it. He doesn't seem dynamic enough to play that, nippy little ball into players to create a shooting opportunity. I also think it's a bit sad that Bangura Williams doesn't get a game, because at least he is a bit creative. At least we could have given him, half out at the end to try to do something, because I thought whilst the players were industrious, they lacked real ability at the top end of the championship, and I think that's a problem in the team now, that we probably are overrating players because we paid money for them, but they're probably not at the quality of the teams at the top of this division, and I think it showed yesterday evening. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes against West Brom, because they're up there as well and they won again, and you can see the same scenario happening again, and it'll probably change the team again. But I think I'm biting the bullet and keeping Cooper in the team for Saturday, and bringing Taylor in and putting Cranmer at right back and putting Sturge at left back, putting Smallburn in the middle with Luongo probably. Although people love Billy Mitchell, I don't think he does enough to create chances for goals to be scored, because at the end of the day, we've got to score goals to win matches. And hopefully Femi Aziz can play a bit longer on Saturday. But yeah, we can't keep going this one-dimensional attack of just trying to get the ball to Imarku and hopefully he beats a player, because they'll just... other teams watch these games and they'll just see, oh, look at what Millwall do. They just play to the same player all the time, so we'll double up on him. And he really does struggle when he's doubled up on. And we haven't got that many options from the bench, really, because Macaulay Langstaff doesn't really cut it, does he? And with Coburn injured, Ivanovic just sits up there, waiting for a goal shooting chance, which doesn't come his way, and he becomes more and more out of the game as the game goes on. But yeah, I mean, we have to start picking up points really, otherwise we'll start to slump towards the bottom of the league, because confidence goes because of our lack of scoring, not being able to score goals. Because anyone who's played in a team or coached a team that struggles to score goals knows that you're okay till 1-0 or maybe, but then if you go 2-0 down, then you really think, we're done for now because we can never score 2 goals, because we haven't got it in us. And that can drag you down and down and down, is my experience of that in football. But anyway, let's hope for better. Yeah, let's hope for better, and let's hope we can dig out a decent home performance on Saturday. So, bye for now, and come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
Who do you want to watch?
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.